Midamerica Industrial Park's Living Grand on Grand Lake is presented by Cherokee Grove Casino and made possible by
Orchids is a premier manufacturer of private label tissue towel and napkins. If you've purchased private label tissue towel or napkins, there's a very, very good chance that it came from this facility. We went from being a regional player in our game to being a national distributor now. We're very, very proud of that fact. The employees here at Orchids are great. They provide us the best resource that we could ask for. We've got a lot of honest, hardworking people that really help us, progress as a company. Being inside the Midamerica Industrial Park is a huge advantage to a company like ours because there's a lot of resources that come with it. There's a lot of collaboration between the companies that reside here in the park. For those younger folks that are interested in a career, Orchids is a great place for them to look at. We provide great benefits, we provide a future, we provide opportunities.
Watched by viewers and members like you.
Coming up on Living Grand on Grand Lake, we'll meet the executive chef behind the culinary delights at Shangri-la Resort. Plus, if you enjoy sitting on the deck with a good book, we'll show you just the place to find one. And a grand party to benefit the homeless animals of Second Chance Animal Rescue. All of these stories and more coming up next on Living Grand on Grand Lake.
This is 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 Living Grand on Grand Lake.
Hi there, glad you could join us again on Living Grand on Grand Lake. I'm Christy Wallace. When Eddie Gibbs set out to rebuild Shangri-La into a world-class luxury resort destination, meticulous detail was put into every facet of this island oasis. With a premier championship golf course, an exquisite hotel, and a gorgeous lakeside view, the only detail that was left was to provide guests with an amazing dining experience. Allow us to introduce the executive chef behind the 4 restaurants at Shangri-La. From serving resort guests on the lake to oceanside dining for some of Hollywood's biggest stars, Chef Bujold provides a culinary experience that's enjoyed by all.
I think as early as when I was about 7 years old, I started doing my own. My parents had an old VCR video camera, and I would try to imitate Justin Wilson, the old Cajun guy that used to be on the public broadcasting stations. I guarantee, and I am Cajun, so it's, for me, a lot of that, it's really funny because we used to always joke about Justin Wilson and that, he's a guy from Connecticut, I think. I don't think he was actually from Southwest Louisiana.
Now guarantee.
As I got older, I went to school and I went to college, and when I got done with that, it just felt more natural to gravitate back to what I felt comfortable doing. And while I was in school, I cooked as well. So it was a way to make money and bartend and cooking, and I love the people that are in the industry. So the bug bit me at a really young age, and just never looked back. So I grew up in Southwest Louisiana. I'm from Lake Charles, Louisiana area. I think I'm lucky. Southwest Louisiana, Cajun, and that Creole type atmosphere, it's one of the only places in this country that has its own food cuisine to its area. So I think that alone is unique. So when you get into what it is what is Cajun food versus Creole food. So you have to look at that. And the Cajun food is very French derivative. It's all the French Acadian people that are settled into Southwest Louisiana. So you see a lot of the Cajun food and French food, they mimic each other when it comes to sauces. And then you had the Creole influence, which was a lot of that Caribbean and Spanish culture that melded in with this French and Native American culture. A lot of people will automatically lump Creole food and Cajun food together, and they're actually not the same thing, and most people don't know that. With that food also comes that culture and the music that comes with it. So it's all intertwined, and it's still, when people travel to Louisiana, they go, man, the food down there is the best food everywhere I've ever been in the United States. I probably found my sound as a chef at about age 25, 26. That's when I took my first executive chef position. It was my first time living in Oklahoma, actually. I'd moved here from Memphis, Tennessee. I knew that I had to put my own kind of spin on something from Louisiana into Oklahoma. But I knew what people in Oklahoma liked because I spent time learning and meeting people and eating at their homes, and it was like, okay, home cooking is real, but you can still do home cooking nice, and then I can kind of slowly integrate my Cajun stuff to it. So when I started to blend this French, Cajun, Creole kind of thing together, and then intermittent pieces of like just home style cooking, I think that's when I kind of found my niche, and it worked for me. So, you know, I've cooked for a lot of famous people. For Bob Dylan in Memphis, for almost 3.5 years, I was at the Hard Rock Casino. So the lineup of people that you cook for, the Hall & Oates of the world, some of the people that you would work with, you'd be like, oh wow, really? That's how you? I would have never in a million years thought like Rick Springfield, strict vegetarian, when we did food for him, and you're like, oh wow, I never thought that in a million years, you know? But you also start to understand everybody puts their pants on the same way you and I do, you know? I will tell you, there's been multiple Super Bowls in my life. I did an Iron Chef competition in Arizona when I was out there. That was quite amazing. It was huge. It was about a 4-month process of building and voting and getting to this final championship with that, and it was a great time. I think the first event we did at Shangri-La with the Home of Hope and having that many still living, standing governors in one room at one time, and I mean brand new open. We opened that afternoon, it felt like, and to pull off a party of that magnitude, those kind of moments to me are my Super Bowl moments, because it's not just me. It takes a full team of people to do this. That makes all these other things kind of naturally fall in place. I flew out here and I looked at it. When I got out here, I'm not lying to you, and this was essentially in deep construction. The hotel was in very deep construction. And I think the easier part is once I started to meet everybody else. And it was meeting the Mike Williams of the world, the Danas, the Lindas, and you start to meet the team that you're building around, and you're like, oh, these are good people. And I didn't meet Eddie for a while. And when I met Eddie, I was like, holy cow, like this, they have big dreams, you know? And when you're asked to be a part of someone's dream, I think it puts a lot of pressure on you, but at the same time, you don't want to fail, so you just keep pushing. And it's been fun, and I enjoy it, and I know I made the right decision coming here.
When you dine at Shangri-La, I personally recommend my favorite, the chicken paillards at Doc's, but I promise no matter what you order, it will be delicious. Just ahead, we'll meet a retired teacher who shares her love for a good book with all who stop in at the J. Weber Library. When we return with more on Living Grand on Grand Lake.
This is Living Grand on Grand Lake.
This is Living Grand on Grand Lake. It's wonderful.
Orchids is a premier manufacturer of private label tissue towel and napkins. If you've purchased private label tissue towel or napkins, there's a very, very good chance that it came from this facility. We went from being a regional player in our game to being a national distributor now, and we're very, very proud of that fact. The employees here at Orchids are great. They provide us the best resource that we could ask for. You know, we've got a lot of honest, hardworking people that really help us, you know, progress as a company. Being inside the Midamerica Industrial Park is a huge advantage to a company like ours because there's a lot of resources that come with it. There's a lot of collaboration between the companies that reside here in the park. For those younger folks that are interested in a career, Orchids is a great place for them to look at. We provide great benefits, we provide a future, we provide opportunities.
So one of the things that we have on Grand Lake is we have several businesses that are open in the evening in several places for people to go eat dinner by boat. So a lot of people don't boat at night, and one of the things to remember is no matter how familiar you are with the lake looks different every night because there's different lights on every night. So make sure you know where you're going, and obviously we discourage the consumption of alcohol and driving a vessel, but more importantly, make sure your vessel's set up to operate at night and make sure you know how to operate your vessel at night. It's not uncommon for us to stop somebody out here that either don't have their navigation lights on or only have part of their navigation lights on, and they don't know how to turn them on. And not only is that embarrassing for them, but it's just tremendously dangerous for the other vessels that are out at night. And if you're going to be out at night, check your lights before you leave. It's a great idea to carry a spare bulb and the tools to change them, because they do burn out at the most inopportune times. So again, if you're going to go out at night, know where you're going, be familiar with that, and make sure all the equipment on your vessel is working.
And now, time for the Living Grand on Grand Lake events page. Time to take the action to the links. Friday, June 22nd, the Grove Area Chamber of Commerce hosts its annual golf tournament at the beautiful Patricia Island Country Club. Lunch will be served on the green at 12:30 with a shotgun start at 1:30 p.m. Call the Chamber to find out more. 918-786-9079. GRDA invites all area anglers to the 12th annual Rush for the Brush, the award-winning project to enhance fish habitat on Grand Lake and Lake Hudson. The second Rush for Brush event for 2018 will be held at Wolf Creek Park in Grove on Saturday, June 23rd. All involved will build fish habitats that they can pick up at the end of the day for placement on Grand or Hudson Lakes. You must pre-register by either visiting grda.com or calling Jacqueline Jaggers at 918-256-0723. Take an inside look at the powerhouse of the historic Pensacola Dam. GRDA is once again offering free tours of the dam, now through Labor Day weekend. Learn about the men and women who first envisioned and later constructed the dam that plays an important role in Oklahoma's development since 1940. For more tour information, stop by the GRDA Ecosystems and Education Center in Langley from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can also visit them online at grda.com. Well, that's it for now from the Living Grand on Grand Lake events page. Welcome back to Midamerica Industrial Park's Living Grand on Grand Lake, presented by Cherokee Grove Casino.
Hello again. There's so many ways to enjoy your time on Grand Lake. Water sports, fishing, biking, golf, and great places to eat are just a few. But nothing beats a peaceful evening on the deck with your favorite beverage and a great book. Just ask Joyce Weber, who enjoys this pastime so much, she opened a very special library on Monkey Island to encourage a love of reading.
A lot of people read out here because you can go sit outside and just enjoy the views and the sounds of the lake and get a good book and just sit down and relax. Well, this library was started basically from donations of books from the community, and I'm trying to foster a love of reading with children. Reading is such an important life skill. You know, you don't master reading, then it affects pretty much your whole life. I want to get books in the kids' hands and give them as much opportunity, you know, to read and to learn to really enjoy reading. I was a teacher for 27 years, and I taught kindergarten, first and second grade. After 27 years, I decided that it was time for me to stop and move out here full time. My husband had passed away recently, and so I was donating a lot of his books and my teaching library at that time. And one thing I donated was a Bible with his name on it. I donated it to the Women's Auxiliary, and that was how they found out who donated the books. Found out they were going to start the library, but they didn't have any furnishings to do it. They had the space. So we went out and we just got all the shelving and furniture and everything we needed and got it started. So that was in November 2012. And by the spring of 2013, I had pretty much become the librarian. I'm not sure how that happened, but it did. And they gave it the name, the J. Weber Lending Library, and as a tribute, memorial to my husband, and just kind of a tribute to myself too for the donations. When people come in, I usually ask them what kind of books they like to read and then try to give them some guidance that way if they don't know. Some people know exactly what they want, and so they just go to the authors that they like. But when I grew up, I wasn't an avid reader just because I read what I had to for school, and it was okay. But, you know, and then as I got older, I realized what you can go on such adventures. You can just leave life and go on adventures through books. the more I read, the more I began to love it. And I think that I see that as well, both with the children and the adults. Once they get started and they get hooked on it, then it's hard for them to put books down, and they just want to keep reading. I do story time every first and third Saturday at 3 o'clock all year long. And basically it's just I read books to the children, and then we do some kind of an art project related to the theme. Each story time has a theme. It may be seasonal, it might be a holiday, it might be an author, or it might be something like self-esteem. And then I also have a summer reading program that runs from when school gets out in May to August when school starts again. And the whole point of that is to keep children reading through the summer, because when they don't read, they just lose so much. And so I go around to the merchants on the island, on Monkey Island, and ask them if they would like to provide a reward for kids when they read. And everyone I go to is excellent. They find something that they can reward the kids with. It's exciting when you see those little milestones, just that when the light bulb turns on or whatever, and yeah, the children have been struggling, or when you see their confidence improve because they finally are able to understand more and it's making more sense to them. And, people donate books all the time, and so what I do, and my shelves are full, so I go through when I receive donations, and I clean them all up, and then I see what I have. And the ones I can use, I'll pull out and switch and rotate books a lot. And if I can't use them, I donate them on to Goodwill. And they're thrilled to get them, and then the books keep giving that way. Every time someone comes in and checks out a book, I get excited about that, because it's just, they're going to read. And I have a Kindle. I use my Kindle a lot, but there's nothing like having a book in your hand. It's just exciting for me to just see people still reading. And in today's society, we don't always make time for that. And it's important to just stop and let yourself relax a little bit and escape.
As a former teacher of kindergarten through second grades, Joyce loves putting on special reading events, including story time on most Saturdays. To find out when her events occur, be sure and like the Joyce Weber Library on Facebook. When you decide to put down your favorite book, you can always find Living Grand on Grand Lake online at rsu.tv. There you'll be able to learn more about the people, places, and features of Grand Lake by catching previous episodes from this year's season and past seasons as well. Still to come, the social event of the season, especially if you love to wag your tail to a lot of great music when Living Grand on Grand Lake returns.
This is Living Grand on Grand Lake.
Grand Lake's newest destination for great fun is located just off the lake in Grove. At Cherokee Casino Grove, you'll experience exceptional food and outstanding service. Stop in to relax with your favorite drink and root for your team on the big screen. Experience live local music on the 1897 stage every weekend. Cherokee Casino Grove on Highway 59 at East 250 Road. It's the most fun you'll have off the water.
At Rogers State University, we keep things personal.
It all starts here.
We make sure our graduates get the most out of their education.
RSU has campuses in Claremore, Bartlesville, and Pryor, with on-campus housing and a wide variety of programs to suit your needs.
It all starts here.
Rogers State University.
Every day, the employees of the Grand River Dam Authority strive for excellence by focusing on the 5 E's: employees, electricity, environmental stewardship, economic development, and efficiency. We do this by producing low-cost, reliable electricity that touches 75 of the 77 counties in the state. At no cost to the taxpayers, we also manage 70,000 surface acres of lakes and the scenic Illinois River. Annually, the efforts of Team GRDA facilitate over $450 million in economic activity for Oklahoma.
Welcome back to Midamerica Industrial Park's Living Grand on Grand Lake, presented by Cherokee Grove Casino.
Welcome back. Parrot heads and pet lovers alike have come to look forward to a fun night of philanthropy at this annual lakeside event. In true Grand Lake style, Barkaritaville is a fundraiser where guests wear flip-flops and floral shirts while supporting the homeless pets of Second Chance Pet Rescue.
Well, this event came about because one day we were sitting at the Parrot and we were trying to figure out a way to have a fun event, and we started talking to Terry and Carolyn Eskew that own the Parrot.
While they were here, they decided that they might ask us if there was something we could do here at the restaurant. And I told them, I said, well, you know, maybe we could put something together out in the parking lot, get some tents and whatever. So we started looking around and looking into that. And next thing you knew, we had an event here 3 years ago, our first one.
And we came up with the name Barkaritaville, and it just has, you know, gotten bigger and bigger every year.
It's been a pretty good crowd ever since, and you know, who doesn't like the fur babies in the area? They all need help. They can't help themselves.
There's a huge overpopulation of pets in this area. And in fact, we normally house at least 80 animals in our facility. Unfortunately, in this area, Delaware County is a huge county, and a lot of it is country, out in the country. And unfortunately, animals get dumped, and people don't get their dogs spayed neutered. We do have a low-cost spayed and neutered program going on right now that we got a grant for, and we're going to continue to try to get those grants to help people get their animals spayed and neutered. Well, during this event, of course, Barkaritaville, which there's lots of nice margaritas being made at the bar.
We have a live band. They played all 3 years at Exit 34. Great band.
And we also have a silent auction and a live auction. And of course, our biggest moneymaker is the live and silent auction items.
We have some really good live auction items this year. We have a trip to Hawaii, a trip to Branson, a garden dinner party for 20 at Lindenwood Gardens, and the money raised with those auction items goes to the Second Chance Pet Rescue Group and helps the cats and dogs and such in the area.
This is our third annual, and this one actually I think is the biggest that we've ever had. We have left open the gate for them to buy at the door, and I think we're kind of running out of chairs this year. So next year you might want to buy your tickets in advance. Well, we do have a little clever thing we've got going on. If you'll notice this, what I have that says rescued on it, we have a dog house that you can throw your friends in or your husband in or your wife in, and then they have to pay to get out of that dog house. And we actually have the Grove Animal Control Officer here assisting us in putting them in the dog house. When someone wants to adopt a pet, they have to come in and fill out an application, and then there's different amounts for different types of pets. Like if they're older than 5 years old, then they're a little bit less than under 5 years old, or kittens or cats are a little bit different price. We have to get references from their veterinarian, that kind of thing. We check them out. But all the animals are spayed, neutered. They have their all appropriate shots, rabies, and they are all microchipped before they're adopted out.
Oh yeah, I got 3 Yorkies myself. You know, they're just like my kids. So I'm kind of attached to this event.
This is a small community, and everyone pretty much knows everyone, and a very supportive community to our shelter. And we really appreciate all the support we've gotten from the community.
Be sure to hug your favorite furry family member and take a moment to visit doitforthedogs.com to see how you can help the Second Chance Pet Rescue. Well, that's it for this edition of Midamerica's Living Grand on Grand Lake. I'm Christy Wallace. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next week.
This is Living Grand on Grand Lake.
And this is Living Grand on Grand Lake.
Midamerica Industrial Park's Living Grand on Grand Lake is presented by Cherokee Grove Casino and made possible by
Orchids is a premier manufacturer of private label tissue towel and napkins. If you've purchased private label tissue towel or napkins, there's a very, very good chance that it came from this facility. We went from being a regional player in our game to being a national distributor now. We're very, very proud of that fact. The employees here at Orchids are great. They provide us the best resource that we could ask for. We've got a lot of honest, hardworking people that really help us, progress as a company. Being inside the Midamerica Industrial Park is a huge advantage to a company like ours because there's a lot of resources that come with it. There's a lot of collaboration between the companies that reside here in the park. For those younger folks that are interested in a career, Orchids is a great place for them to look at. We provide great benefits, we provide a future, we provide opportunities.
Also by
every day, the employees of the Grand River Dam Authority strive for excellence by focusing on the 5 E's: employees, electricity, environmental stewardship, economic development, and efficiency. We do this by producing low-cost, reliable electricity that touches 75 of the 77 counties in the state. At no cost to the taxpayers, we also manage 70,000 surface acres of lakes and the scenic Illinois River. Annually, the efforts of Team GRDA facilitate over $450 million in economic activity for Oklahoma.
Plus by
I had the drive to boost my earning power.
I was driven to be more competitive in the job market.
Finishing my degree, that's what drives me.
If you left college without a degree, Reach Higher, Oklahoma's degree completion program, can change your life. You get affordable tuition, flexible class schedules with online options, and a degree from a state university.
I was driven to earn my diploma.
And I did it.
Apply today at reachhigheroklahoma.org. Let your drive drive you.
And by viewers and members like you